Hello and welcome, Lynx here. We are playing Sakura Alien 3. That is correct. It's a new day. We are on a spaceship still, but I would assume by now we are about to land. So let's get into it. I know how long I sleep. I sleep? I mean, I guess makes sense. But when I wake up, I feel refreshed and well rested. Anna helps me to my feet, smiling as she does so, and pats down my hair.
How do you feel, darling? I hope my lap made for a comfortable pillow.
I'm pretty good, thanks. Your thighs must have restrictive powers, they're even softer than memory foam.
Oh, I thank you. Coming from you, that is very flattering. Now shall we return to the ship's hull? I believe we should be at our destination soon. Though I should probably let Revi announce that. She would be disappointed if I were to borrow a phrase you Earthlings sometimes use. Steal her thunder!
Anna giggles, pleased at her successful use in one of our Earthling idioms. Anna struggled with idioms since arriving on Earth. I think her ability to use them now is a good sign. It shows she's settling in. It's strange, therefore, that we should be leaving Earth so soon after she's begun to grow accustomed to its culture. But we won't tell. I tell myself, been Mirach too long. At the very least, I hope you're not. While I'm as eager as any man who's dreamed about space's childhood to check out a genuine bona fide alien planet, Hiyori's happiness is my top priority.
Yeah.
I'd like to return to her home ASAP. I'm not in the mood for sightseeing. Right, let's go then. I head to the hull of the ship alongside Anna, where we soon find Revi. She grins when she sees me, then says with sparkling eyes,
Hey Anna! And hey there, Anna's boy toy! I've got some good news for the pair of you! We'll be at Mirach in approximately...
Revi checks one of the flashing screens fitted in the wall of her spaceship.
30 Earthling minutes!
Only 30?
That is exceedingly impressive. I knew I was right to trust you, Revi. You've never once let me down. Well, thanks! I do my best. So, Haru, do you see that plan over yonder? The purple one? That's covered in swirling gas clouds. That's Mirach.
I see, yeah. I followed the direction of Revi's pointing finger and then let my eyes linger upon the planet before me, transfixed. Mirach is close enough that I can make out the swirling mists which cover it. I've not seen any planet like it before in the Milky Way. It's utterly unique, incomparable to Venus, Mars, and, you know, all the rest. So this is Mirach. This is a planet Revi was born on. What? No. Wrong name. You used the wrong name. Wrong name. Hiyori. This is the planet Hiyori was born on, and the place she's now calling home. Hiyori. It makes quite the impression even seen from a distance. I wonder what it would look like from close quarters. If I was on my own, I'd probably be anxious at the prospect of landing on an alien planet, but fortunately I have allies. I should be alright so long as I'm with Anna and Revi. Speaking of which, will you be coming to the palace with us, Revi?
Who, me? Oh no! I've been working Corval's Royal Palace since I was like this high. When you've seen one, you've seen them all. I'm sick of the opulence, and in the case, I'm so not the sort of guy who wants speaking to the wealthy and the important. Stella always told me I had no respect.
I mean, you say that, but you talk to Anna all the time.
Anna's different. She might be a princess, but she's super approachable. She's my friend. I don't know about all those nobles and advisors that will be swarming around Mirach's palace for. If Hiyori's a friend of yours, I bet she'll be fine, but I doubt that to say anything worthwhile to her. We're strangers, she has no idea who I am. There is so many people to persuade her to come back to her. If anything, I just get in the way of your tearful reunion. I'd hate to ruin things.
I guess you have a point.
I always do.
Where will you sail on Mirach for? In your ship?
Of course. It's better furnished than in a hotel. I'll be just fine waiting here.
Correct approach.
You and Anna can come and find me on my ship once you finish your negotiations with Hiyori and you're ready to leave the planet. Somebody's gotta keep an eye on this baby to ensure she doesn't get stolen. I bet Junkers would have her turned into a scrap metal alienist and walk me around to defend her honor.
Yeah, like gypsies, you bet. Hope you don't have them in space. These are good points, but I don't know how long Anna and I will be staying on Mirach. I'd hate to make you wait days for us to come back, or weeks. Or who knows. What if you're lonely on your own? I'd be sleeping on this ship with her.
Oh, Haru, you're such a sweetie.
Reveals.
I'm glad you care about me so much, but like I said, there is no need for you to fuss. There is no way I'll be lonely. Not when I'm with my ship. I might pick up a few extra parts in Mirach's markets and see if I can fix her up even more. That should keep me occupied. I'd rather do that than hang around yet another boring, stuffy old palace.
Well, I mean, if you're sure...
I'm sure. You and Anna should enjoy your jaunt on Mirach without me. Don't let me cramp your style, you two lovebirds.
Ooh. Nice. Soon Og. BCA. So this is Mirach, huh? It's with wide eyes that I look around my surroundings, desperate to drink them in. I feel like I did when I first moved from the countryside to Tokyo, but the culture shock I'm experiencing is even more intense than that. At least when I relocated to Tokyo, I was still among fellow Japanese people. Tokyo felt like another planet, but it was still part of Japan. Mirach, meanwhile, is totally different. It looks a little like Tokyo, I suppose, given it has a lot of buildings, but they are nothing like the grey skyscrapers I'm accustomed to. Isn't like Tokyo changing kind of for the worse? Like they actually try to make the buildings boring? I think they made, I think in Tokyo at least, they made a really cool looking train station into like a generic crap. And people don't like that. I know, I feel like 21st century, like, basically, buildings in general look like shit. To be quite honest with you. It's like the quality of designers of building went drastically down right now. So, to be fair, why the hell do we have to pay so much for the buildings? For houses and so on. They don't look good. And you have pay ridiculous amounts. Something is not correct. Anyway. The geometry of the buildings which surround me are unfamiliar. The buildings are all illuminated with gaudy neon signs. That's actually sounding like Tokyo at night. I can understand any of the pictographic characters which decorate the signage on the streets. And the hovering vehicles which pass me by on the road are sleek and shiny like beetles. I kinda would expect them to fly. The sky meanwhile is a strange color I'm not accustomed to. It's pale purple and I can see large circular bodies, other planets I think, looming in the horizon. I feel like I've stepped into a science fiction movie. I wouldn't blink if I saw a cityscape like this on the silver screen, but that's only because I'd assume it had been crafted with CGI. I hate CGI. Mirach doesn't look real. It shouldn't be real. My hopelessly mundane mind is having trouble getting to grips with it all. But there is no denying that this is reality. My imagination isn't good enough to conjure up a detailed scene like this. Gee, I come from a pretty poor family and my parents never had any money to fly me away on vacations to Europe or America. Same! I literally only been abroad once in my life, god damn it, and it was on a primary school trip. Like a 5-day trip basically. I was in like Czech Republic for a day and that's it. Yeah. I had one trip that I really wanted to do. Planned, but well, you know what kind of thing came from China. Yeah, anyway. There is a lot about Earth I'm ignorant of, despite watching a lot of documentaries. I'm also ignorant of a lot. And I would maybe watch more documentaries if I had more time. But I'm recording here. I always figured the first place I'd go to when I'd accrued enough capital would be the States. Why would you want to go there? To further my research into the stars. Maybe. I wouldn't know. But States, no. Actually, States, United States overall. I mean, I'm sure it's great when you are in the, like, safe areas and so on. To be fair, you know what? I feel like recently a lot of countries are not really high on my list in general that I would want to go to. I would just want to go to countries that are actually genuinely safe. It's kind of funny. In the past you'd think, okay, this area looks cool, I want to go there. And now it's, okay, this looks cool, but is it safe? Right? It's hilarious that Poland became the safe country now. But I never, not in a million years, thought I'd end up visiting an alien planet in a whole other galaxy. This is crazy! This place surely is built up. And there's a lot of people to... Oh. For Mirach's architecture is unusual. The people in the crowd look largely humanoid. For the most part at least. Most people I see look like myself with 2 arms, 2 legs and a head. Most. Their clothes are certainly unusual, but they are not so strange they wouldn't look out of place in an avant-garde fashion show. There is a lot of skin-tight bodysuits like Anna's and highly patterned fabrics and gold and jewelry. A few people have bionic limbs, ooh, and one woman who passes has 4 arms, oh, but I've not seen any green-skinned Martians. I do see a few blue-skinned people, however, and a couple of bipedal wolf-like creatures, ooh, with animal ears and fur, but that's beside the point. Okay, fur, too far. You know me. Animal ears? Yes. Tails? Yes. Fur? That's too far. I'm glad the majority of the people thronging Menak streets look akin to myself, but this fleeting familiarity doesn't quite assuage all of my unease. I can shake the feeling that I'm an outsider here. I mean, of course you are. You're not from there, so... Hey, Anna, you said you'd been to Mirak before, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right. My parents took me here a few times to visit the royal family. As fellow royals, my parents were often in discussions with the nobility of nearby planets in the Ankh galaxy.
Oh.
Anyone have this weird, creepy feeling that maybe they will, for some reason, be there at the same time? I'm well acquainted with the palace, although...
Anna ponders while tapping her next finger against her lower lip.
Now to think about it, I was never afforded a chance to explore the city.
No? Anna shakes her head.
My parents were very strict, you see. They worried for my safety, which is fair enough, I suppose, given my status as a royal. Whenever we visited other planets, they would have attendants observe me, who monitored my every move.
Well, that's a pain.
I always had to stay indoors so I couldn't make a scene. On the rare occasions I was allowed to explore outdoors, I was chaperoned. I hadn't the chance to explore. Mirach's capital's new site for me too. I feel just like a tourist. Nice. I'd always wanted to explore this place. I've heard there are meant to be a lot of boutiques that carry interesting clothes, and there is a lot of wonderful restaurants too. Mirach has so much culture.
How does this place compare to Corval then? Is it anything like Mirach?
Nah, not at all. Corval, as I believe I have told you, is mostly desert. We have cities too, but they are not like this. The buildings aren't half so high, and the streets aren't paved. They're covered with sand instead. It's hard to build when resources are so scarce and land is so arid and everybody is so tired. Corval is quite depressing, really. But let us not dwell on that. We are in Mirach now, and we did not come here to explore its many sites, interesting though they may be. I think it's imperative that we find our way to the Royal Palace so we can speak with Hiyori. What do you think?
That's a great idea. Do you know how far the palace is?
The palace is located on the city's outskirts, I believe. It isn't so very far away. I remember when I was a young girl, I would often look out the window in my guest bedroom in Mirach's palace and stare out at this very city. I could see its lights twinkling in the distance, and all its neon signs. Gazing upon it filled my heart with such excitement. For of course I prefer Tokyo. Japanese culture, it can be beaten. Walking to the palace on foot mightn't be possible, but I think we should be able to flag down a transportation pod. They should get us to our destination soon enough. Rev even gave me some Mirach coins so we can pay our way. Wasn't that nice of her?
I guess that was pretty thoughtful, yeah. I wouldn't want to get arrested on an alien planet for being incapable of paying my transportation pod fare. Shall we go then?
Yeah, let's. There is no point hanging around here. No matter how enticing all these sights might be, Hiyori is our first priority. I wonder what expression she will make when she sees us.
She'll be like, "Get out!"
That would be worth more than the amount of Mirach coins. I cannot wait to see her again.
I mean, I understand, but also it's kind of bold to assume that we'll be allowed into the palace in the first place, right? So there are flying vehicles. Clearly they don't have wheeled cars, I would say. Given the fact that these roads don't have like railings and so on. Which means, I guess, maybe you can get out of this road at any point, sort of. Anywho. Enough flags down transportation pod from among the ranks of the sleek, shiny vehicles which are floating through the city, and the pair of us clamber inside of it. These pods, unlike the taxis you'd expect to find in Tokyo, are unmanned. Rather than issuing a board or worse, overly attentive driver instructions, and instead taps in our desired destination control panel at the front of the pod. That taken care of, the two of us then sit back in the pod's cramped interior as it whisks us to our destination. The pod glides through a city, hovering above the roads. It must be built with state-of-the-art technology, because it knows when to slow down, when to stop, and when to turn on its own. I would have zero trust in that vehicle. Mirach's public transportation network, I soon notice, is quite congested. The pod often has to hold mid-air amidst numerous other pods, while the city's bright lights flicker around us. It's all pretty overwhelming. I really do feel like I stepped into a science fiction movie. I wouldn't be at all surprised if I ran into an orange-haired woman authority in white called Lilu. Orange-haired woman. This city seems the perfect setting for such an encounter. I think I don't get it. It takes a while, but eventually the transportation pod comes to a halt. It looks like we've arrived.
That was quite the journey, wasn't it? Corval has a similar transportation system, so these spots aren't unfamiliar to me, but I've never ridden in one before. My mother and father always had me accompany them in their spaceship on the rare occasions I was allowed to travel. Today has been full of firsts for me. I think I prefer the trains in Tokyo for these spots might be fast, but they're awfully cramped.
Same here. I don't know. I'm not at all that tall, but I had to fold my legs up, concertina-like, to fit myself inside the pod's cramped confines. I clambered out of the pod shakily with Anna's help, then glanced about. Mirach's royal palace is located quite a distance away from the city. I can see it in the distance, all tall buildings and flashing lights, but this particular part of Mirach has more relaxing vibe. The palace grounds are dotted literally with trees and flowers, and grass flutters about my ankles. The vegetation isn't wholly identical to the flora on Earth, but they bear enough similarities for me to identify them as trees, flowers, and grass. Everything is tinged in unnatural shades, either purple or blue, and the trunks of the trees seem to drop, as though they have their own heartbeats. It's a bit unnerving, but all this greenery, or should I say purplery, is quite refreshing. As for the palace itself, meanwhile, wow! It's an impressive structure, alright, so much so that when I face it, I find myself stuck for words. The architecture of the palace is less futuristic, for want of a better word, than my brief sojourn in Mirach City left me to expect. There's something charmingly rustic about the palace, fringed as it is on all sides by nature. It wouldn't look wholly out of place on Earth, for not perhaps in Japan. Yeah, that's not a Japanese castle, definitely. That is Europe, man. That is Europe. It looks rather European, in fact. I just said that. I wish I had a camera on me, so I could take a few photos, or even my phone. But would my phone even work on Mirach? I mean, to take a photo, yeah. Why wouldn't it? To call someone? Well, that's a different story. That seems somewhat doubtful. In any event, now is hardly time to stand about gawping. Hiyori must be inside that building. She doesn't know that Anna and I are here, but she'll soon enough when, or if, we're able to secure an audience with her. My desire to see Hiyori swells up inside me like a balloon. I missed her so badly, it feels like a physical age. I just want to know that she's alright. Shall we go?
Oh yeah, let's. If we run to any palace guards, which we should, in due course I can speak to them on your behalf. My status as princess should ensure that we don't get imprisoned, at the very least for our audacity in coming here. I only hope we're able to speak to Hiyori.
You and me both. Being turned away would be awful after we've come all this way.
I'm sure that will not come to pass. We'll be fine. You just need to be more confident.
It's with this announcement that Anna steps forth. I follow along behind her, trying to swallow my anxiety. The sound of gently running water helps ease some of my concerns, as does the twittering of birdsong in the strange trees about us. Alien planet or no, Mirach is very beautiful. I wonder if it boasts even more forested areas like this, away from the noise of the city. If so, I imagine it must be quite the popular tourist destination for the citizens of the Ankh galaxy. Mirach looks a lot nicer than Anna's descriptions of Corval, at least. She's told me on several occasions that Corval is a desert planet, all dry, arid sand and blazing heat. Mirach's climate doesn't seem too dissimilar from Earth's, even though it is a little humid. My sweater is starting to stick uncomfortably to my skin. If we are in a palace's area, right? Oh, maybe it's just stairs and not road. Okay, I get it. I'm like, why is there a the crossing here? But it must be stairs. And between the stairs you have emptiness, right? Yeah, that would make more sense. Because why would you make a cross? If there is, first of all, no street. Anyway. I've half a mind to take it off when my attention is captured by a woman standing outside the royal palace. She's wearing a skin-tight bodysuit similar to Anna's, but hers is comprised of dark colors. Her hair too is dark and her expression is stern. Given her austere countenance, I would presume she's a palace guard. She exudes an imposing aura, like that of a sharp-toothed predator, but something about her makes me pause. I think I recognize her. I'm accustomed to seeing her in a turtleneck sweater and a high-waisted skirt, but she's immediately identifiable, whatever. Even without them, owing to that hairstyle of hers. Could that be? Oh, Professor Sakai! The woman catches my gaze. She blinks. Then after a pause she says,
Ah, Mr. Takagi? Miss Anna? Well, I did not expect to see you here.
Let's go, girl. I've missed you. So it is Professor Sakai after all. I knew my eyes hadn't deceived me. I call her Professor Sakai, but the name's probably not the best way to address her in here. Professor Sakai is, as I discovered, a pseudonym. This woman's real name is Aloe, and she's no university professor. She's actually an alien from Mirach, who knew Hiyori when she was a child. This world really is full of surprises. I should have expected I'd see her again, for it is a bit awkward. She did proposition me back when she was still posing as professor, and I totally gave to her advances. I mean, how could I not? She's really attractive. Hey, it's good to see you again.
Do you think so? I hope you are not saying that simply to be considerate. Knowing you for Mr. Takagi, I would not at all be surprised if that is the case. You have always been a gentleman. My darling's a very nice person, yes, he always puts others' feelings before his own.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far.
That's why we came here, in fact. It's because we're worried about Hiyori. I suppose that does make sense. The pair of you were good friends with Her Highness when she still resided upon Earth. Do you wish to speak to her?
We can?
Well...
Aloe's brow furrows.
Under normal circumstances, I would have to send you away. While you may be the princess's friends, you ought to schedule an appointment to see her like anybody else. The princess is very busy. She cannot afford to speak to anybody willy-nilly. That is what I ought to say at least, but... I've been worried about the princess's well-being these last few weeks. Though she reassures me she's fine, I find myself unable to believe her. I've tried to console her as best I can, but there is only so much I can do. I'm not as close to her, I fear, as you are, Mr. Takagi, Miss Anna. Perhaps speaking with you would cheer her up. I know I oughtn't do this, but...
Aloe inhales and sighs.
You may see the princess. I shall grant you permission.
What? Really?
Indeed. Do not look so shocked when you petitioned for me for this chance yourself. She's free now. As a matter of fact, her previous meeting concluded early, so you may speak to her this very instant. I will guide you to the throne room, so please look lively. Before that, however...
Oh! Let's go. I've barely had the time to register all these words when, quick as flash, my ex-professor bridges the distance between us and presses the kiss to my cheek. It's a quick, fleeting kind of kiss which lasts only a few seconds, but it makes me blush regardless. I think I liked Aloe more than the other two as well, right? She was great as well. It's funny how the supposed side characters are more to my liking. Aloe's lips are warm against my cheek, and the scent of her floral perfume wafts over me. I can feel Aloe's chest pressing against my arm. Yes. And her fingers curling against the front of my sweater. Yes. It's a very sweet, chaste gesture. The sort a young girl might bestow upon her crush. Yes. I think that Aloe's affection for me is really cute. Aloe might be older than I am, but as far as mature woman goes, she's adorable.
Mr. Takagi?
Aloe draws back from me and smiles, her face flushed.
I'm glad that you came here. Not solely for Her Highness's sake, but for my own too. Yes! I do not know why exactly I feel as I do, but I missed you upon my return to Mirach. Embarrassing for this, I confess that upon seeing you again, my heart skipped a bit. You're a very precious person to me indeed, and our reunion has brought me a good deal of happiness. I only hope it can do the same for Her Highness. I know that she too has missed you, but how could she not? You are a real gentleman.
With Aloe as our guide, Anna and I are led into the depths of Mirach's palace. The building, as it soon transpires, is huge! Even larger on the inside, or so it appears than the out. What is it? A freaking Doctor Who? Police box? But the castle? The ceilings are high and supported with columns, and the floors are made of hard sandstone blocks, which amplify the sounds of our footsteps. The throne room itself, meanwhile, is vast enough to be cavernous, with highly decorated walls. A plush, imposing-looking throne stands upon a dais at the furthest end of the room, and the wall behind it is comprised of glass panels. Church vibes. Clear and translucent, so the lilac sunlight filters into the room. This sunlight illuminates the rich mosaics upon the floor and the ornate golden curlicues of all the columns.
Hey?
And of course, it lights up the face of the one who sits upon the throne. She's attired in a skin-tight bodysuit, much like Aloe and Anna, but I recognize her in an instant. How could I not, when she's one of my dearest friends? It's no other than Hiyori! No crown or anything like... Hiyori stares at Anna and I, dumbstruck. Slowly she rises to her feet and, crossing the spacious throne room, says,
Are you truly an Haru? Yes, of course we are. Who else would it be? That's such a funny question, Hiyori.
Hiyori looks between Anna and I, blinking. Then with a relieved cry,
Oh, it's so good to see you, I missed you!
the fact that the guy has eyes in the game is so weird. And so uncommon, obviously. Hiyori throws herself at the both of us. Hiyori embraces us slightly, her choppy hair shifting about her jaw. She winds one arm about me, while the other snakes about Anna, and happily she cries.
I really can feel you, you're not holograms at all, and this can be a dream if it's so real. You really did come for me. Yeah, we did. We missed you too, Hiyori, my darling, and I were thinking about you every single day. We desperately wanted to see how you were doing. We simply could not stand idle and do nothing. It's good to see you again.
It's good to see you again, Hiyori. I hope you've been alright.
I've been as short as I can be, I suppose, given all the duties I've got to attend to, but what are my manners? As a princess, I probably shouldn't go hurling myself my guests whenever I please. You must think very poorly of me, Aloe. I've forgotten all those etiquette lessons drilled into my head. That is quite alright, Your Highness. Were these dignitaries from other planets, I would naturally be appalled if you chose to greet them too. But Mr. Takagi and Miss Anna are not strangers. They are your dear friends. You need to be overly self-conscious around them. Please be yourself. There is no shame in embracing one's own companions. Oh, Oh, I'm glad to hear it. I'd hate to be scolded. No. I'll try to keep my hands to myself for the present. I should be clinging to you like a little girl, not in the drum room, but wow! You have to tell me everything about your journey, how to get here, how long did it take? I haven't go out of your way for my sake. What about your university course, Haru? What about your job, Anna? Surely you can't leave those behind.
Well, I had to take a day off, yeah, to get here, but I don't think I've missed out on anything all that important. I can catch up later. Seeing you was more important than attending a few lectures.
I feel much the same. Your happiness is more important to me than baking bread. As for how precisely we got here, well, that is a bit of a long story. I'll try to abridge it.
Anna tells Hiyori and Aloy how she and I were able to come here after enlisting the help of Hiyori's friend Revi. Hiyori nods at intervals throughout the tale, one hand beneath her chin, then smiles when it reaches its conclusion.
I see. I suppose you will have to thank Miss Revi on my behalf for bringing you here. I really am glad to see you. Of course, I'll let you stay in the palace for as long as you wish, but I'm afraid I won't be able to spend much time with you. I have a lot of important political meetings to attend. I have a meeting coming up soon, in fact, which I can't miss. This should have been a no-brainer, really. But I didn't realize being a princess would be so difficult. I've hardly any free time lately. It's pretty much stressful, but...
Hiyori forces a smile.
I can't complain. This is the path I myself chose, after all. I'll simply have to learn to endure it.
I mean, enduring isn't the same as enjoying something for... Are you sure you're alright here, Hiyori? If you want to come to Earth with Anne and I, Revi's waiting for us in the spaceship and there is room for enough for you. I bet you Earthling parents are missing you a lot and you haven't skipped down on too much of your course at uni. You'll have some catching up to do, but you should be able to pass your second year. We can keep attending the astronomy club together, like we always did, and we can look at the stars every night. Why am I saying that? Wouldn't you prefer that over governing Mirach on your own?
I'm sorry, Haru.
Hiyori's expression softens.
I'm flattered you feel that way, but I can't think about my own personal preferences anymore. Not now, I'm a princess. I'd like to return to Earth with you, but I have too many responsibilities to attend to. I'm not going to run away from them.
But... Haru, stop. She decided that. It's fair enough. It's not like she's forced, apparently, so... Instead of but, say... But if you eventually maybe change your mind, our place is always open for you or something like that.
There will be no buts. I know you mean well, Haru, and I'm sorry, but if you thought I would return to Earth with you in a heartbeat, you were mistaken. There are some things I can do, no matter how much I would like to do them. But please don't take this as personal affront. It isn't that I don't want to go back with you, I can't. There's no point discussing it further. It will just make me feel sad, and I don't want that. Not when we've finally been reunited. We should try to talk about happier things.
Hiyori smiles.
Let's speak more later, alright? I have a meeting to attend now, but I'll try to set some time for it tonight. Wait up for me if you can. I want to make the most of our reunion. I'm not lying when I say I really have missed you.
Okay. Our emotional reunion concluded. Hiyori insists that Anne and I stay the night in her palace. She assures us that she has plenty of spare rooms we can stay in, which is a claim I can't dispute. I don't dispute. The view I had of the palace's exterior left me no doubt that it's a vast, sprawling building full of luxuriantly furnished chambers. Anne and I both consent to staying, and Hiyori sends an attendant to escort us to our rooms. That's some weird-ass paintings. My room, as I soon discover, is every bit as grand as I anticipated, if not more. It's spacious, like something you might expect to see from a high-end hotel. Yeah, that's not a high-end hotel for sure. With a high ceiling and a vast bed strewn with luxuriant sheets and pillows. The air is infused with floral scent I can't quite place, and the large glass windows let in streams of pinkish light into the room. It's pleasant enough, I suppose, but it does little to lift my spirits. I feel exhausted. I slip off my shoes, then cross the room. I throw myself down upon the bed with a dull thought. Back first, and there I lie, staring up at the ceiling. Fatigue settles upon me like a shroud. My limbs age something fierce. I yawn, my eyelids falling shut, then turn over on my side. This bedroom might be impressive, but its splendor is to do little to raise my spirits. What in the world am I supposed to do now? I murmur this question aloud to the empty air, but as might be expected, nobody replies. I'm all alone. What do you mean? What do you mean about what you're supposed to do now? What are the options? I spent a while settling in my new bedroom in Mirach's palace, all while trying to shake off the homesickness which clings to me. Being on a new planet is a disorienting experience. It's hard for me to get my bearings, and it doesn't help me that the sky beyond my bedroom window is a strange pale purple color. It feels a bit like I'm living inside the dream. I'm summoned to dinner by one of Hiyori's attendants a few hours after settling in. They lead me to a vast dining room, where Anna is already seated. Hiyori is oddly absent. I suppose as a princess, she has a lot of work to manage, and she can't afford to spare the time to eat regular meals which ordinary people such as myself with. The food I'm served bears some similarities to Earthling cuisine, which is a relief. I'm given something which looks and tastes like fish, for its flaky meat is pale green rather than white or pink. This fish-like substance, I'm not sure if it's actually fish or not, is served in an aromatic sauce with strange vegetables on the side, which crunch between my teeth. I eat as much as I feel capable of, which isn't that much. Even my stomach feels like it's been tied in knots. Then I excuse myself. I retreat to my bedchamber after bidding Anna good night and retreat to my bed. Weren't we supposed to meet with Hiyori for? Thoughts raced through my head, most of them related to Hiyori. She was adamant about staying on Mirach, but is that really what she wants? I'm not sure. Why do I feel like maybe we are maybe I'm looking too deep into that, but we as Haru kind of over here try to put our own feelings into the head of Hiyori, sort of. Well, we'll see. I'd hoped to talk to Hiyori over dinner, but I haven't seen her at all since our reunion. That feels like hours ago already. Will Anna and I be granted another audience with her? It's starting to look like she'll be busy during the coming days. She won't be able to spare us any time at all. If I can't talk to Hiyori, there is no way I'll be able to persuade her to come back home. Yeah, but... whatever. Was my journey to Mirach a waste of time? I turn gloomy thoughts like this about in my head, as a hamster might run in a wheel for what seems like hours. Ooh, this is nice. Eventually the lilac sky beyond the glass windows turns dark purple and my room teems with slithering shadows. I guess the sun must have set. I turn over my bed, restless, unsure whether I'll be able to get any sleep when...
Excuse me? I know it's late. I'm sorry to disturb you, but there is something I want to talk to you about. Are you still awake, Haru?
I can't see the owner of the voice, but naturally I recognize them. Her? How could I not? It's Hiyori! I sit up in bed, newly energized and respond in turn. Of course you can come in. I'd be happy to talk to you. That's why I came here after all. You don't need to sound so shy, that's not like you.
I suppose it isn't. The last few weeks I spent living as a princess must rubbed off on me. I'm acting almost like a real lady. Well, if you'll excuse me.
Nice. The door slides open with a mechanical whir, and the threshold stands Hiyori. She isn't attired in her skin-tight bodysuit, but in the floaty pastel nightgown. I've seen her in a few times prior over our holographic communications device. I guess she must have been preparing for bed. Hiyori looks very sweet dressed like this, and infinitely more approachable. I think I prefer her in this outfit than I do in her bodysuit. She looks less like an alien princess and more like an ordinary girl. Akasaka Hiyori! Hiyori closes the door behind me. But I didn't enter, so... It's like behind herself, if anything. Whatever. With another word, then steps forward. Anxiously, she covers by the edge of my bed until I shift over to make room for her. Here. I mean, it's a huge bed, so it's probably not like you. I pat my mattress with my right hand. You can take a seat. I don't mind, and I don't mind either. Probably.
Well, I know that. I trust you with my life, Haru. It might be scandalous for a princess such as I entering a young man's room unchaperoned. If Aloy knew about this, she would be angry.
Hiyori ponders for a few moments, then shakes her head.
But what Aloy doesn't know won't hurt her.
I take it she's a stickler for protocol then.
Oh yeah, she often lectures me about my mannerisms and my way of speaking. She says I should be more conscious of my status as a princess, so as to fit it better. I know she means well by it. She's my most steadfast ally in the whole palace, but it can be a bit overwhelming. Yeah. This palace is supposed to be my home, but...
Hiyori swivels about on my bed to look out the window at the dark night sky full of shining stars.
I feel like I can't really be myself when I'm living here. I thought I'd feel at home on this planet. It was where I was born after all, but maybe I was naive.
Hiyori sighs.
I'm trying to be strong as a princess. This is my duty, but it's hard. Aloy appreciates that, and she tries to smooth over my mistakes during the many meetings I must attend, but I always worry about saying the wrong thing. I wasn't trained to be a princess from birth like Anna. This is all very new to me. I think I should get more comfortable in my newfound position over time, but...
Hiyori's voice strides away. She bites her lip, pouring it between her neat white teeth and dips her head. Silence passes between the two of us. A deep, impermeable silence, throughout which I can hear faintly the pounding of my heart. Hiyori glanced at me from beneath her eyelashes. She blinked. It's only now that I notice when I peer into Hiyori's eyes how very close we are sitting together. There isn't much space between us.
Hey Haru, do you really want me to return to Earth with you?
Well, that's an easy question. I don't have to think twice before answering. Of course I do. The astronomy club's not the same without you in it. I've missed your hot pot, and I've missed talking to you about the stars. And, well, I've missed you, too. The most of all.
But you have Anna to keep you company. You aren't alone. She's very effusive in her affections, and it's obvious she likes you a lot. Isn't she enough to cheer you up?
She's consoled me a lot in her absence, yes, but Anna's no substitute for you. I wouldn't want to use her in that way either. It wouldn't be fair to her. I like both of you, and I've grown used to the three of us spending time together. I know Anna misses you a lot too. She adores you. We both want you to come back. What you're doing on Mirage is admirable, but your people aren't the only ones who need you. We're your friends and we need you too.
Oh, I see. I wasn't sure if coming here was a whim of yours, but...
Hiyori sniffles, tears begin to bed in her eyes, clinging to her lashes and clamping them together. How come returning to Earth is the only option for Earth? Dude, me? This situation? Let's go here. Let's go over there. I just would like to take my doggo with me, obviously. She looks at me, lips pursed, abashed. And then with a loud cry which seems unfitting for a princess. Hiyori throws herself into my arms. She buries her head against my chest, damping the front of my sweater with her tears, and cries out plaintively, her voice muffled.
I miss you too, miss you so much, and then as well. I've been trying to stay strong really here, but you're right, this is a lot for me to bear. I was able to get my feelings pure, but now you're actually here. Now I can see you and hold you and smell you.
Hiyori's voice breaks off into a fresh round of sobs. Her shoulders are shaking helplessly against me, as though she might break.
I just can't hide doing it anymore. I can keep me lying to myself. You're being honest with me, so I'll be honest with you. I really do want to stay with you.
Yeah, I figured as much. Gently, I loop one arm about Hiyori's back, while my other hand rests upon her head. I thread my fingers through her hair, teasing it free of tangles, and pat her in what I hope is a consoling manner. I thought you might miss me. In fact, I'd pretty hurt if you didn't, given how close we are. I laugh, which prompts Hiyori to giggle too, for her giggles are breathless and teary. I know we're in a tough position right now. I don't want to force you to come to any conclusions, but Anna and I'll be more than happy to take you back to Earth with us. If staying on Mirach gets too much for you, please just tell us. Your duties as a princess may be important, but above all else, I want you to be happy.
Thank you, Haru. That means a lot to me. I still don't know what I want to do, but having you and Nagiri is big help. It's nice to know I'm not alone.
Of course you're not. We'll never abandon you, regardless what you decide. After all, I smiled at Hiyori. You can always rely on us.
And with that being said,
What's with the music? Yo! What is about to happen? Are we going to be thrown into like prison or whatever? Holy crap. We'll find out tomorrow. But that music definitely gives some dangerous vibes. We'll see tomorrow. For now, hope you enjoyed. Consider liking the video, subscribing and so on. Always super appreciated. And of course, have a wonderful day. That's very important. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.